Snowboarding season is just around the corner, so let's get you ready to get back out on the slopes by learning how to wax your snowboard. So first off, what you want to do if your snowboard still has its bindings in, just to make sure to unscrew them. Any Phillips screwdriver will do. And yeah, just get them all out. And what I like to do is, so I don't lose the hardware that I get, is just have a Ziploc baggie next to you, and so that way you have a place to put all the screws and the hardware that needs to go back in. And then just repeat that for the other binding as well to make sure they both come off. Okay, so if you have this, what you want, it's called a gummy stone. These are just a couple bucks off of Amazon, and all you're going to do is just rub it on the board to clean up any debris that may have been left on the board from last season. Don't worry about scraping it too hard, just give it a little nice scrub. And then what you want to do is take this, it's a citrus base cleaner. Once again, not too expensive, just get off Amazon, like $4, $5, and it'll last you like 30 waxes. So just spritz it around. And we're gonna let that sit for about 4 minutes, and then we're gonna wipe this down. I did say 4 minutes in the last clip. What I meant to say is just 1 minute. Just leave it for 1 minute, and then you're good to wipe it down. Just use like a paper napkin. This is just gonna make sure it's all clean before we apply the wax. Because if you have any dirt on there, we don't want it to get stuck on the wax. As you can see, it's picking up a lot of dirt right now. So next, if you want to do, it's called tuning. I don't suggest tuning your board if you do a lot of park riding, but if you do a lot of powder riding or you're on a lot of groomers, then you'll want to tune your board, like sharpen the edges. And so what I just take this tuner, and since this board it's been a long time since it's actually been tuned, I'm going to take a pretty rough scraper. You can get multiple ones. Some are a lot less of a grit. This one has a much more of a grit. That one has less. All you're going to do is grab that side of it and do one even stroke all the way down the board. And then you're gonna repeat that process for both sides. So now what you wanna do is get your waxing iron out. Any iron will do. I have a snowboard iron for specifically waxing, but any will do, but just make sure that you don't use an iron that you plan on using again, because once this gets wax on it, it'll be very hard to clean up and iron clothes with again. So make sure if it's an iron that you don't care about, or if it's specifically for snowboards only, for waxing. And then what you want to do is take your wax that you want to use. I'm using all temperature snowboard wax because I don't really care about if it's too cold or too hot. All temp is usually fine for most snowboards. And so once your waxing iron is hot enough, just stick your wax onto it, and you're just going to make little drops all around the snowboard. As it drips, you'll see little circles. And a little rule of thumb is a little wax can go a long way. I know when I was first learning to wax, I put a lot of wax on, and it would just take forever to scrape. So yeah, a little wax goes a long way. Make sure you get it all the way to the nose until, if you don't worry about the edges, we're going to scrape a little bit more once that's done. But another thing you can do, if you don't like doing the drip method, you can just heat it up and rub it on. I don't like that way, but some people prefer it that way. So either one works. And then once you let that cool for about a minute, you're just going to attach your wax directly onto your snowboard, and make sure just to spread it around evenly for the whole board. And once you have finished evening that out, all we're going to do is just let that wax sit for just a little bit. You can turn your iron off. We won't be using the iron anymore. So just turn that off. And you'll want to get a scraper. This is just a plastic scraper of any that I have. These are just a couple dollars, once again, really cheap. This one has a little piece right there, you can see. That is just get the wax off of the edges. So that's what I'm going to do first, is make sure to get the wax off the edges. So I'm going to come this way and just scrape it towards me. Once you get all the wax off the edges, all we're going to do is just push the wax all the way off. So just What you want to do is just grab it, and then there we go. As you can see, the little wax is starting to lift up. Scrape that all off. And you want to make sure when you do this to get as much wax off as you can, because the wax that we have applied, it's gonna stick to what we need. We have way too much wax on it. So just keep scraping it. Next, we want to take two brushes. One we want to have for sure is as well as a nylon brush, and this one right here is a brass brush. And this is going to help just get all the excess wax. If we didn't get it evenly, get it all evenly all around the board. Just do circular motions around the board to get all that wax. There we go. And then take a horsehair brush just to brush that all off. And then last, take a gummy stone just to clean off all the debris. So now your board, it's ready. It's been waxed. It has just all season wax on it. You want to make sure, just a little tip, make sure when you're scraping and get as thin as possible. The thinner it is, the faster the board's gonna be, and that's what we want. We don't want the board to be really slow. If you see like any patchiness on it, feel free, you go back and just scrape it off. It's not a huge deal. And then, yeah, have fun out on the mountain this season. And once you're finished, just make sure to put your bindings back on.